So I know a lot of people have been excited as I am to see what exactly is going to be happening now in this aftermath. Now that we've just gone through all this big stuff, all the big players are out, the Shinsengumi, the Gintoki's in hiding. We're just seeing what exactly is going to be happening, and it's happening now in this chapter of Gintama. Now, the first thing is to say that the start of the chapter started off very weirdly, and I was really shocked to see this, that Gintoki actually had a dream of his master, Shoyo, and he was asking, what exactly are you, Shoyo? Every time I've been trying to fight you, and, we've been seeing what Gintoki's going through, he's just been killing people left and right just to even get a slice of bread back when he was a child, and he even asked, what are you? And he just described himself, I'm a monster. And you are a son of a monster. And the one thing he said, you're getting close, Gintoki, but the problem is, I'm teaching you right now not to wield your sword as a monster, but to wield it as a human. And I'm hoping one day you may be able to take me down. And he just sees him, when he sees his master there into current time, and he's just disintegrating the sword in his hand and saying, you're still wielding a monster sword. A monster sword isn't gonna kill me, and he just slashed his Gintoki in the head, and I'm like, oh my god, that is a fucking nightmare that you don't want to see. Your it really begs the question is that maybe the reason why Shoyo put so much trust into Gintoki, and maybe the reasons why he couldn't do that is he thought why Gintoki was the one that should do it, who should try and execute him back in the day. Because he thought maybe Gintoki was the closest one ready. He wasn't the one that could actually take him down, to cut, and that's why he stepped himself up, because he was and not to mention as well, from what we've seen, I'm guessing that that is Shoyo, just that his mind has become twisted, by something or someone. He has split personality. I think that is him. Maybe he got a parasite inside him, some weird fucking alien that did it. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it feels like it's the dominant role in his body right now, and maybe that's why we haven't been seeing. I'm not even gonna lie as well, his design when you see him as Utsuro, which for the meantime until we get more clarification, I'm just gonna be really calling Shoyo either Utsuro or Shoyo. I will say with Utsuro, that must be what it was, and he has a vast reminder of the second Gintama movie. If you remember, if people haven't seen that, I won't spoil it on the second Gintama movie, but there's a plot thing that's in that movie that I feel that's what exactly that happened to Utsuro, and if people have seen the movie, they know exactly what I mean with the main baddie in that movie. I feel something like that is happening, and maybe that's why it's called, the final. Maybe that is actually a hint at what really the series is going to be ending at. So I'm very curious about what's going to be happening later on in this series, and maybe in the finale, because we're getting up to this penultimate end at one point. But I really do feel like they're definitely just so much inspiration and elements from Rurouni Kenshin. I get those feels really bad. I mean, that's the thing. Gintama is an inspiration, inspired from Rurouni Kenshin, and that's one thing I love about it, because it's just so fucking deep when it says stuff like this, and I fucking love this stuff when it does that. Get on more with the chapter. We did get to see Gintoki, he's hiding out with Katsura and the Joy Patriots in Akihabara, and it's why would Akihabara be the best place to actually go out of everywhere? And there's just shit ton of massive jokes. They're saying, oh yeah, look at all these fucking dweebs playing the Love Live games and everything. Look at them, they're not even human beings anymore, they're just walking corpses with names. I'm fuck, is that what people have been reduced to over there in Japan? I know, seeing the games and stuff like that, and all the anime and all the stuff there, I'm Jesus fucking Christ, that shit's bigger than fucking Idolmaster now. I mean, I ain't knocking it, but it's just that shit is huge over there. So I do like that even Sorachi's just what the fuck is with this shit? What is with this? And not to mention as well, when we got to see all those people, they were trying to put on posters and stuff like that, and they were trying, hey, let's put Gintoki in this murderous looking design, even though it's fucking Katsura in a wig making a cake, and I'm what the... See, this is what like I said last time, what I wanted. I want this comedy. I want this element in there. Yeah, you keep it a bit of seriousness as well. That's an actual perfect thing to have in the chapter as well. You got half of it was serious, half of it was comedy filled, and I like that about this. I thought that was a really great blend in this chapter, and I was just laughing my ass. I was hey, maybe if we had Gintoki over to police, maybe we might get some points for Love Idol. What? Let's stop trying to fucking sell out for some fucking Love Live. Stop trying to sell out for that fucking idol stuff. No, we don't want that shit. But I gotta say, Nobume, as she arrived in the chapter like a fucking G, I like the new design. I like the fucking new design that she's going with right now. I appreciate that shit, and I think she looks fine as fuck. That's all I'm gonna be saying really about that. But she has a job for Gintoki, and she's like, you know, people asking, you know, why you're not with the Mima Waragumis, don't deserve to be the leader. Like, Sasuke was the only one to, like, really lead them, and most of the people, anyway, went with Kondo and joined up with him. So pretty much, that clarifies what's really happened with the Mima Waragumis, that they pretty much kind of dissolved into the Shinsengumi and become a joint faction at this point. Not to mention as well, she's saying, you know, I can't lead it because, you know, I want to show you as disciples, I can't. Not to mention as well, she can't even abandon the country because of that man from the Tendo Shu, as we're talking about with Utsura. Since, like, maybe that's why he had his disciples. Maybe that's why he had Takasugi, he had Gintoki, he had Katsura, Nobume. Like, maybe he knew, like, at the end, Shoya, maybe he knew that Gintoki wasn't going to be enough, and maybe it had to be up to, like, Nobume as well to actually get, let's say, you know, maybe, you know, you have to teach Gintoki something about that. Because from the sounds of it, Gintoki has to completely change his entire style, like, of what he's been doing. Because that's the thing, he's just been wielding his sword like he's just, you know, as he's always been doing. He hasn't really been doing much to thinking about it. So that does make me curious, how exactly is he going to learn new style because of this? Is he going to, like, find something else that he has, like maybe, you know, he'll get stronger, a little bit of training, like who knows exactly. But I can definitely see like all the disciples training with each other, and that'd be a really cool fucking training arc if we ever get that. But mind you, Gintama's never done anything like that, so it's like, it's kind of curious to see that. Not to mention as well, we got right at the end of the chapter, Gintoki nearly got his dick shot off, like by the bitch herself, Matoko, like from the Hieitai. Like, I mean, fucking hell, Takasugi is gonna be coming back soon, so that makes me happy. I'm kind of curious, like, what's exactly going to happen, because obviously there's been some time, I think it's been about, like, 3 months or so, since, like, the Shinsengumi rebellion arc, like, ended, so that makes me wonder, like, either Takasugi's condition is worse than we thought, or he's finally, like, regained consciousness. I don't think, like, at this point Takasugi maybe is fully recovered. I mean, I'm not too sure, even Gintoki was fucked up, so either, like, obviously, you see the 3 options, he's back up and he wants the fucking team, or maybe he wants to relay a message to Gintoki. Maybe he already heard about, like, what they show you, because I think he fucking wants to know something about that shit. Like, you know, how is, like, Takasugi gonna react if his master's still alive? Is he gonna join up with Gintoki? It doesn't sound like, he probably wants his own answers himself. Maybe he even disappeared to actually find some answers and try and find him and see, you know, what exactly is going on. It was a really good chapter. I must say, you know, for people as well, it was kind of just a build-up chapter, nothing too much to it. It had some really interesting stuff that I really did love. But yeah, there are some bits in this chapter. I mean, I know a lot of people worry would go like about the Love Life stuff and, like, you know, Elizabeth resting nuts on, like, Gintoki's head. I mean, it's some funny shit. But I'll call it as is, you know. I think this was a fair, good chapter. I'd give it like a 7.5. Like, it was a good chapter, but it was some very, very good setup for this week, and I really can't wait for next week's chapter. And bit of Takasugi, that's all I'm asking for, please. I know we had a big arc on him, but it's like a little bit of Takasugi, please. I mean, she's Red Bullet's there, so I mean, it's not out of the options, but it's like, that's all from me. So thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time.